Good morning, and thank you for joining. My name's John Kuta. I'm the head of PLM and value engineering here at KETIV Technologies. I've been in PLM now for more than 25 years with companies such as Autodesk, PTC, Oracle. I've got expertise in the area of business process assessments. I actually manage that practice here at KETIV, as well as value engineering and ROI analysis and product management. So here at KETIV, we have been helping manufacturers improve their product-related business processes for over 40 years. Everything from configuration, RFQ response, to design, simulation, testing and validation, to configuration control and change management, and part qualification, manufacturing processes, as well as quality processes. So someone once told me that PLM is 1,000 things to 1,000 people, and I believe that. But today we're going to do sort of a deep dive into the value of connecting design and manufacturing with PLM. Typically, manufacturers struggle with silos of information where you have engineering on one side, designing, and manufacturing on the other side, using ERP and other systems to actually perform the execution process. So what happens typically is that engineering will produce an as-designed BOM, and then basically translate that into an M-BOM or as-built BOM, usually in Excel, and then someone has to manually load that into the ERP system. Well, the result of that is what you might expect: delays, rework, errors, scrap, basically a lot of errors and a lot of rework. Enterprise PLM, and specifically Fusion Manage from Autodesk, connects these silos of information and actually allows you to maintain an associative as-designed BOM and as-built BOM in the PLM system. So I'm going to walk through a simple use case on how that's actually done, just to illustrate what can and can't be done in terms of automation, and then how we can help actually bridge this gap for your organization. So let's just start with a design, a very simple design here. It's got 3 parts. And it's, let's say, part number 1234-E, standing for engineering. And it's in a pre-release state. It's at a revision 1. Now, when we check that into Vault, we actually can configure the integration, which I'll talk about later, to automatically transfer that bill of materials into PLM. So as I mentioned before, it's item number 1234. We've titled it E. Of course, you wouldn't use E as a title, but this is just for illustration. Revision 1 in a lifecycle pre-release. So we load that into the as designed or the normal standard item workspace. Now, to create the M-BOM, what we'll do here is create a parallel workspace, an as-built item workspace that works hand in hand with the as-designed workspace. And what this allows us to do is to create the M-BOM or as-built BOM with the same part number. So we have part number 1234 as the engineering BOM and the manufacturing BOM. So now, what if we want to actually modify that manufacturing BOM to add a kit, something that would not be designed in, but something that you need for manufacturing to bring parts and assemblies to the shop floor for assembly. So we've created this assembly, this kit assembly, A1, that contains parts P2 and P3. Now we need to release that. So we release Rev A via an ECO, and that engineering BOM is actually the lifecycle state is sent back to Vault, and the new M-BOM is actually sent to the ERP system. So we automatically, upon release, integrate with with the ERP system to get the manufacturing BOM into ERP. So this is a case where you can see that the engineering BOM and the manufacturing BOM are actually different, but associated with one another. So now we want to make a change to the manufacturing BOM. What would that look like? What if we need to add glue, or let's say ink, or a label, or some other kind of consumable manufacturable item to that manufacturing BOM? So here we've added C1, which is glue. And now we're going to release that to manufacturing via what we call an MCO. Now, MCO is just a variation of ECO that has perhaps a different revisioning scheme. Here we have sort of an alphanumeric. You could call it an alpha prime, however you want to configure that. And that differentiates a functional change from a manufacturing change. So upon releasing that MCO, that update is automatically transferred to manufacturing. So now what if we make a change to the actual design? What would that look like? So in this case, we're going to add a part to the engineering design, and now we go to a working revision, unreleased. And then we check that into Vault like we did before, and that would automatically get transferred into PLM in the items workspace. Now here is where the amount of automation that can be done is somewhat limited, just because we don't know where P4 would go on the manufacturing BOM automatically. Does it go under A1 as a part of the kit, or is it a part of the top level? So in this case, we're going to make it a part of the top level. So we actually manually update or edit the manufacturing BOM to reflect that. Now we want to release this, so we release everything, and now we go from Rev A or A1 on the manufacturing side to Rev B. So this is a fairly simple illustration of how you would make a manufacturing change and an engineering change, and how that would be associated and managed within enterprise PLM. So why choose KETIV to help you with this problem? Well, we've been at this for a long time. We've been actually managing Autodesk, Vault, Inventor, and helping customers with PLM now for about 40 years. So, we can connect those silos of information, the design and manufacturing silos, with a complete and automated solution. One of the keys to this solution is KETIV DataBridge, which will reliably integrate that information across your environment. So designs that are managed in Vault would automatically be synchronized with Fusion Manage. And then consequently, manufacturing BOMs would automatically be loaded into the ERP system. So this eliminates that error-prone and delay caused by manual data entry. The other thing KETIV offers is a unique set of purpose-built extensions that really facilitate this process. Firstly, we can automatically synchronize the items workspaces. This is not currently out-of-the-box functionality. So we want to automate the introduction of that new workspace and the transfer and synchronization of that data. The second thing we have is a report or a utility that allows you to do a BOM comparison between the as designed and the as built BOM, so that you can view the differences and make sure that those differences are properly in sync. So what are the next steps? No matter where you are in your PLM journey, we think a business process assessment is the right starting place. We understand that your business has some desired outcomes, some initiatives and goals that you have as an organization. And KETIV offers solutions in a number of areas, as I mentioned before, that really go end to end throughout the product lifecycle. Everything from config and quoting to design automation, new product introduction and data management, change and quality management, and, as I mentioned before, complete systems integrations. So the business process assessment really just finds that intersection where we can identify which solutions add the most value to your business. It's a really simple three-step process. Doesn't require a lot of energy and resources on your end to get started, but we start with discovery, where we identify the scope of the assessment, who's involved, and then collect some metrics on your current environment so we can quantify how those processes are performing. From there, we'll take that back and identify a roadmap or set of solutions that add the most value, and then present a summary of findings so that you and your leadership team can understand the value, the ROI, how things will roll out in a sequential fashion. We're not going to flip a switch and have everything operate all at once. We want to roll that out in a logical fashion. And then we'll provide an estimate of the ROI and benefits so that you can answer the question as to why it's a great investment to go with KETIV. With that, I want to thank you for your time. If you have any questions or want to discuss further, please feel free to reach out to me at any time, and I'll be more than happy to help. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day.